Good. I'm glad.
Actually,
Nice.
surprisingly.
That's what I like to hear. So y'all know the drill. We'll hang out for a little while, let people trickle in, and then we'll get started. Hi, Isoko. How are you? Isoko says, I'm good, excited to meditate. Feel like I haven't done so in a couple days because I graduated over the weekend. Congratulations, Isoko. That's a wonderful. Good for you. How does it feel? Congrats, congrats, congrats. Feels weird. Yeah. Hyper-focused in a relatively small community. And then all of a sudden, grad school in the fall. Damn, Isoko. Going for broke. Going for gold. Thanks for the follow, Bleeping Bee. Thank you so much. For those of you who are just hopping in, we'll begin the guided practice in about, 7 or 8 minutes. And tonight's practice will be about self-love, self-compassion, self-forgiveness.
Congratulations. Sorry.
Morgan says, I've had such a terrible weekend, hence why I'm up at 3 a.m. I'm sorry, Morgan. I apologize. I hope that you begin to feel better soon. And being as tonight's practice is about self-compassion and forgiveness, that can go a long way towards easing painful sensations. Bleeping Bee said, I downloaded Twitch and made an account just to follow. Bleeping Bee, thank you so much. I really genuinely appreciate that. And the more people who follow us on Twitch, the more people who will find us through Twitch. The more people who can participate in these meditations, the more people who meditate, the more people who become more in touch with themselves, and the more people who become more in touch with themselves, the more people who become happier and peaceful and seeing things more clearly, and the more people who are happy and peaceful and seeing things more clearly, the less suffering there is. Ah, the bench. Squirmy, why are you twitching? Is it because you're squirmy? Squirmy, squirmy. Awesome Possum, been in bed all day sick, struggling to keep anything down, also dealing with grief right now. I'm really sorry to hear that, Awesome Possum. I really am. See if you can stay loosely present with this practice, even while you're feeling very sick. This practice will definitely, well, not definitely, I won't speak for anyone but myself, but this practice often brings myself more closely in touch with what I'm feeling. And in that case, it might help release the emotions. So for those of you who are just joining, we'll begin the guided practice in about 4 or 5 minutes, Tonight's practice will be about self-love, self-forgiveness, self-compassion. And if you haven't already, we'd really appreciate the follow on the channel, as we have guided meditations every single night at 10 p.m. EST. Oh shit! Thanks for the sub, Cardomancer. Really appreciate it. Seriously, thank you so much. All of that support goes towards spreading Project Mindfulness, and Project Mindfulness is about making meditation and mindfulness more accessible. Thank you so much. The mystical turkey is here. Welcome, mystical turkey. Gobble gobble. And thanks again, Cardomancer. Truly. Awesome Possum says, well, I can't exactly feel any worse right now. True. Squirmy says, I twitch for you. Thanks, Squirmy. So, we're going to begin in like 3.5, 4 minutes. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? Maybe keep it relatively simple, since we only have a few minutes. Or maybe if you have anything you'd like to share from a previous meditation or previous experience in meditation. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Well, to be honest, when I was walking back to my home to get ready for streaming, I wanted some ice cream, but the line was too long in the store and I wasn't going to make it back in time. But now that I'm home, I'm feeling more thirsty than in the mood for ice cream, so I guess not much. Awesome Possum says, I'm supposed to have school tomorrow. Debating telling my teachers I'm not going in. I think it's important to take care of yourself, Awesome Possum, so if you feel like you need the time and space for yourself, and that time and space would help you, then I would go for it. But if you feel like it's not going to help you, then I don't know. Take a moment now, and whether you believe it or not, whether you believe yourself or not, whether you have any faith in the words that I'm saying or not, take a moment now and thank yourself. Thank yourself for showing up here tonight. You've come here to participate in a group meditation, and participating in a group meditation means that somewhere inside of you there's the intention to make a change, to make a difference, to grow, to heal, whatever it may be. And that's really special. And you are worth that. You deserve that. You are worthy. You are whole and you are worthy. So thank yourself for taking the time and making the commitment. Tom says, watch and monitor yourself. Stay on top of things, homie. From one sick boy to another. Tom, are you sick too? Oh my goodness. Squirmy says, I'm going deep into the tank now. Deep into the tank. Maybe the title of my next book. Deep into the tank now. Bleeping Bee says, I often buy ice cream and then never crave it enough to actually eat it. Makes sense. I used to really enjoy ice cream quite a bit, but that's mostly past for me now. It very consistently makes me ill, so I finally decided that it wasn't worth it. And now I don't crave it or want it anymore. But vegan ice cream is okay. Believe it or not. I hope so too, Awesome Possum. So we're going to start transitioning into the practice now. So if you haven't already, find yourself a comfortable position. As tonight's practice is about self-compassion, self-love, establish a position, a posture that is truly comfortable. That is truly comfortable. There's no need to sit with perfect posture, no need to strain in any type of meditative posture, no need for lotus or sadasana, although if you want to, you can. Whatever is comfortable for you, so you can lay down, you can recline, you can sit on a couch, you can sit on a chair, you can stand on your head, although that would be quite the feat. And take that time now and settle into a comfortable position. Settling into a comfortable position. Feeling the body relaxing, sinking. Feeling content. And once you're settled physically, start to take some deeper, rhythmic, comfortable breaths through the nose. They don't have to be tremendously deep, although you can if you want to, but just taking some deeper, rhythmic, comfortable breaths, breathing through your nose. If you're familiar with diaphragmatic breathing, you can feel your diaphragm rising and falling with each inhalation and exhalation. If not, doesn't matter, just come in contact with your inhalation. Be present with your exhalation. Deep, comforting, rhythmic breaths. Let a small smile develop on your face. Just staying in contact with your breathing, your deep, rhythmic, comfortable breathing. See if you can notice the feeling of air flowing throughout your body, the oxygenation happening in every part of your body as you inhale. If your breath is strained, if your breaths are too deep, just relax, just relax. And take a moment now. Come in contact with the center of your chest. The center of your chest. Allowing your breath to relax. Keep your awareness at the center of your chest. You're breathing into the center of your chest. Gentle, bountiful sips of air. Feeling your breath flow into the center of your chest. Take a moment now and recall a time in your life, any time. It could be a briefest moment or it could be a period of time where you experienced love, being loved, where you experienced compassion. The love you might receive from a very, very close friend or a family member, or maybe even a stranger offered you this unconditional love. Recall what that feels like. If not love, then remember a time of happiness, of joy, of ease. Recall that feeling. Recall what it feels like. Allow that feeling to blossom in the center of your chest, even if it's just the tiniest bit. Or even if it's just the faintest memory of that feeling. And as you breathe, feel the air flowing into the center of your chest. Feel it nurturing and growing this feeling of gentle compassion, of gentle love. Feel it gently glowing, filling your center, filling your heart. As you inhale, feel the breath nurturing this feeling in the center of your chest. As you exhale, allow the feeling to spread all throughout your body, all throughout your body. With your eyes gently closed, begin to see yourself. See yourself in your mind's eye, in your imagination, behind your eyelids. See yourself. Notice what you look like, the expression on your face, the feeling you get upon seeing yourself. What do you notice? What do you see? What do you feel? Even if you're unable to see yourself, then just consider yourself. Consider the thought of yourself. And now take a moment. You can speak. Is there anything you'd like to say to yourself? Is there anything you'd like to say to yourself? There's no need to censor your feelings, your thoughts, your words. It's okay. It's okay now. And come in contact again. The center of your chest. The gentle warmth of compassion, breathing into that in your heart. Begin to see yourself smiling. Begin to see yourself smiling. You can see yourself smiling. You can see your eyes brimming with happiness. If it's helpful, you can bring a hand to your chest. You can smile yourself. See yourself smiling, and all the while experiencing that sense of love, of care, of unconditional compassion flowing from your chest all throughout the body, sharing it with this experience of yourself. You can express this love to yourself. You can use words if you like. I love you. I care for you. Regardless of past mistakes, regardless of past troubles, I am here for you. I love you unconditionally. Even if there is resistance, keep on trying. And you can see yourself accepting these words, accepting this expression of love. You can experience it being returned to you. You are loved, regardless of past mistakes, regardless of past troubles. You are loved. Stay in touch with this experience in the center of your chest, breathing into the center of your chest, experiencing the gentle warmth of compassion, the coolness of unconditional love, the joy and happiness of ease, breathing that into the center of your chest, into your heart, and exhaling, allow the experience, allow the feeling to flow throughout your body. Even if there is resistance, even if there are thoughts, disbelieving thoughts, even if there are conflicting feelings, stay present with the practice. Practice takes persistence, practice takes effort. And it's okay, it's okay. This is the process. Can release the visualization of yourself. Breathing gently into the center of your chest. Thank you for practicing with me this evening. Keep on breathing into your heart. Stay in touch with the experience of this practice. And there is space now to share your experiences and ask questions. Stay in touch with this experience. If you're able to, share your experiences and ask in the Twitch so it's more inclusive. But if you'd like to, you can use the group meditation Discord channel. May all be happy. May all be at ease. May all be free. Ponyboy, I see what you've written, but maybe you'd care to elaborate with your words a little bit more. Charlie says, I have issues loving my past self for sure. I was objectively hate-filled, while I also suffered greatly as a result of how I got filled with that hate. It's so frustrating to ram into that wall when it comes to that. I feel so frequently like I cannot be upset or sad or forgive myself because what I was while being hurt, in my opinion, cancels that out. I've tried to love her, my past self, that is, but I feel all I can do is offer a hug. Then just offer a hug, Charlie. Just offer a hug. This is a practice, this is a process, and there's going to be resistance that comes up. It's important to keep in mind that this practice of love is not necessarily some esoteric, crazy, wild thing that we're doing. We're literally just using some tricks and tools to elicit the sensation and feeling of love. And what naturally will come up for many of us is a sense of resistance and opposing feelings to love. And this is our past conditioning. These are our past habits that are rearing up in the face of trying to develop these qualities of love and compassion. That's okay, that's part of the process, that's part of the practice. It's literally what is meant to happen. when we visualize ourselves smiling with shining eyes and full of love, and we feel difficulty and we feel resistance and we're not able to do that. It's literally what is meant to happen, because we're, through this practice, are going to move through that resistance, move through those barriers. And so just keep practicing. Just keep practicing. Just keep practicing. Just keep practicing. Possum Pal says, I've only been able to forgive my past self after extending the compassion I have for other people to myself. I realize I would not be as hard on others as I am on myself. Absolutely, that's a great thing to look at. Do we speak to ourselves internally the way we do to our closest friends? The way we do to our closest family members? The way we do to our lover? Do we speak that way to ourselves internally? Often there is that double standard, like Cosmos says. Bleeping Bee says, I felt really happy connecting with memories of my late friend, but when it come to visualizing myself, I became somber. Understandable. Understandable. Something that so often happens. Something that so often happens. There can be all of these intense, dark feelings that come up in a practice like this, and it can be a little disconcerting, because here I am talking about love and this and that and saying that's what this practice is, and it can be a little disconcerting to come face to face with darker feelings or unpleasant thoughts, or you know, anywhere from thoughts like I don't deserve love, or I hate myself, or I'm a terrible person, or fuck this shit, this is stupid, who cares about love, blah blah blah. All of that stuff can come up. It's very natural. And again, I'll say it, I mean, it's really what is not necessarily supposed to come up specifically, but this is generally the stuff that we're moving through when we take on a practice like this. It's generally the stuff that we're moving through when we take on a practice like this. Musical Potato.
I was just wondering, could you give me an introduction?
What kind of introduction, Ponyboy?
To who you are?
Ah, you'd like to know a little bit more about me?
Please.
My name is Greg. And what else?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just don't have a lot of background on you.
Understandable, understandable. My name is Greg. I'm 24. I've been meditating for about 7.5 years. I started Project Mindfulness, which is part of what this Discord community is, with David, Christian, and Ben about a year ago. What else would you like to know? And hold on, if you don't mind asking your questions in text chat, although I don't mind you asking in voice, but I just want to get through some of the things that people are saying right now. So if you can ask your question in text chat, I'll answer them, while I also answer other people's questions, and then we can have a dialogue when there's a little more space.
Please continue.
Musical Potato 14 says, I could feel my heartbeat pretty strong towards the end. Cool, awesome. What other kinds of things did you experience, Potato? I'd love to hear them. It can be a really interesting experience to come in contact with the heartbeat. Isoko says, when I opened my eyes, I found tears in one of my eyes. Lately, I've been especially trying to remind myself how I deserve to graduate, how I deserve the people in my life, how I deserve love from others and myself. But today I feel the message finally hit me, as I found myself smiling at the images of myself sneakily smiling during graduation, or on the car ride home with my siblings when they were excitedly planning out my birthday, especially since my sister and I aren't super close. But it was touching how much thought and effort she's putting into this. I do deserve love. I do deserve friendship. I do deserve my degree. It's wonderful, Isoko. It's wonderful. It's really fascinating in the context of a practice like this to start to notice how many tiny little expressions of an inferiority and superiority complex are being expressed inside ourselves. And it can be very obvious sometimes, or it can be very, very subtle. And I think we do get a very interesting opportunity when we look to visualize ourselves, or just even consider the thought of ourselves, and maybe get a new perspective on how we consider ourselves internally. Book fan says, I had an urge to cry during the practice. Pretty much just, I don't deserve this. Book fan. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's okay to cry. And I understand. I understand the sentiment of not deserving this. You know, I understand that deeply. I know what it feels like, and I know many people here have also experienced that feeling of, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be loved. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve such and such thing. It's very common. And it really is an expression of a self-harming habit, conditioning that has developed in ourselves. And we've each experienced it to different degrees and different specificities. But what this practice is all about is really allowing space for that to be present, and also just consistently and gently working to develop these feelings of compassion and love and forgiveness. And at first it might be only a little, or maybe even not at all. I know that when I started, I couldn't even feel anything in the slightest, and the words were essentially empty. And, you know, that's why I really like that phrase, fake it till you make it, because a lot of the time that's what it takes. It takes going through the motions in order to start feeling something. And, you know, a lot of it is about giving ourselves the space to even have the opportunity to feel something like this, because often we're so wrapped up in our lives or in our self-narratives that we're not even giving ourselves the space to even have the chance of something like this coming up. Feelings of compassion, of love, of forgiveness. And again, I have to say, and I think this is a very important point, is that this practice is not necessarily about some esoteric expression of love, or about magical, unconditional love. It's really all of the tools that I shared with you just now in this guided practice are like these little tricks, these little things we use to help elicit these positive feelings, and then we use the practice to help grow those feelings, and then are expressing it to ourselves and then towards others. Musical Potato says, not much else, just a feeling of peacefulness. That's wonderful, Potato. That's wonderful. Andrea says, I have felt so weak and needy recently, as a continuation of the sit Jay and I had this morning. Jay put his hand over my heart and told me to let him carry the struggle, hardship, and the hurt. He will take it. Had a small dark spot of thoughts today, like what was the point of breathing. I'm working with really forgiving myself for a plethora of bad stuff in my life. I'm constantly reminded that I am forgiven. I have felt a little disconnected from people lately, and feeling like I am opening up to people because of the practice. I have a lot of work to do, and I want to be here for a long time. I am sobbing. Just feel like I want to reconnect positively, just don't know how right now. Just keep practicing, Andrea. You're doing really great. Just keep practicing.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What is something that you've always wanted?
Something that I've always wanted. I don't know if there's anything that I've always wanted. My wants have come and go. I think something that I would have wanted when I was a little boy is very different than something I would want now or 5 years ago.
Something that you've always wanted to experience.
Something I've always wanted to experience. Well, when I was very young, one of my most persistent desires was to travel. I actually had 3 countries in mind. India, Japan, and Egypt.
But just one.
Just one. I always wanted to travel, Ponyboy, when I was a very little boy.
To where? To what means?
I'm not sure I considered the means. There were a few countries, India, Japan, Egypt.
If you could have one thing within your residence or home, what would it be?
One thing within my residence? Well, I would wish that everyone in my residence was free. Free from self-delusion.
So it would not be a material thing.
No, not at all. I definitely... I definitely have desires for lots of little things, but if you're asking me which desire takes precedent, a desire deepest in my heart is for people to be at ease.
To one thing. Materialistically. What would it be?
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. But would it be a waterfall? Because
A waterfall? Like a waterfall inside my home? I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be into that.
yeah.
Hi, Christian. Wait, hi? Yeah, Christian Law. What's up? Keep trying to write out my thoughts in tonight's meditation. It's apparently just not happening. All I'll say is that I felt a lot of joy, love, and connection. That's amazing, Saturn. Bleeping Bee is going to my sad music place. Okay, Bleeping Bee. You're very loved. Job offer incoming. Geez, I don't know. Maybe I'm not clear enough about my object-based desires. Although I'll take a waterfall, Ponyboy, if you're offering. Thank you for the follow, Christian. Thank you so much. Hello, Dallas. Dallas has object desires too. Well, maybe you can tell Ponyboy what they are, because I'm not apparently... Oh, Bleeping Bee is going to be burying your friend's ashes. Sounds like a beautiful practice, but intense. Christian says, sometimes... What, Ponyboy?
It's something I've always wanted for a long time.
A waterfall?
I will not cut you off. You can, and I can talk later.
You were sort of breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat yourself? Thanks for the follow, Dallas.
I just think that a waterfall would be such a beautiful thing to come home to.
Ponyboy's on Discord. Yeah, a waterfall would be something beautiful to come home to. Yeah, I agree with you. And I really like water and the sound of water. And I feel like it would be a really awesome addition to a house. Yeah, you guys can definitely join the Discord. We have a community of about 3,000 people there. And, you know, for those of you who are just joining from Twitch, I represent something called Project Mindfulness, and Project Mindfulness is a global initiative for radically accessible meditation and mindfulness, and we have group meditations every single evening at 10 p.m. EST. You're welcome, Dallas. And thank you again for the follows. It's really incredibly appreciated. And if you haven't already, take the time to thank yourself for coming to this practice. This isn't about anyone else but yourself. This isn't about anyone else but yourself. Yeah, the Discord invite and the Twitch link continues to expire even though we set it to not expire, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, but we will replace it. Bleeping bee.
Goodness, how much longer do you have?
I think you asked how much longer do I have to share, and it's probably about 15 to 20 more minutes.
Do you think Tank Metal or David will be here with us?
Well, Tank Metal is here, but I know David is not feeling well tonight.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you think Metal could contribute to this conversation?
I just rejoined because my internet crapped out, so I'm not privy to the whole thing.
I feel that you have something to say. Because you always do. You're a mestre.
Damn, Tanky. Deep mysteries over here.
Yeah. Very deep indeed.
You're welcome, Morgan.
Are you talking about the conversation pertaining to waterfalls, or?
Yes, but could your conversation about waterfalls have any superfluous influence upon other conversations? Maybe you want a...
Me too, Donkey. I'm really glad that you came, Morgan.
I mean, I love waterfalls. They're like natural white noise generators. If I could have one in my house, that would be awesome.
Totally.
It doesn't have to be a waterfall, though. It could be anything. I mean, like a sand waterfall.
Oh, a sand waterfall. Now we're talking. Alright, let's get fucking real here. If I could come home to anything in my house, it would be a ball pit. I want like a deep ass ball pit, the kind of ball pit that I can just sink into.
I like the idea of ball pits a lot. They need to make an adult ball pit. All the ones I've been to are like at Chuck E. Cheese, like kid size.
I'm merely trying to come up with something that would be as peaceful or serendipitous as a ball pit or a waterfall or a sand waterfall.
How about a water slide? And at the end of the water slide is the entire ocean.
What about just a mane of beautiful, silky hair.
I don't think I would like that actually.
Horsehair.
Musical Potato says, "What I want is the time to go through 50 plus Chrome tabs I have open." I feel you, Potato. The story of my life. So we're coming up on an hour now, so if anyone has any other questions they'd like to ask about the practice, or something related to the practice, or any experiences they'd like to share, you can do so now. And of course, we have guided practice every single evening at 10 p.m. EST. So if you missed tonight's practice, or you feel like you want to continue, come back tomorrow evening.
If no one has anything else to say, Gregors, do you use some sort of voice modulation?
No.
That's just your natural voice?
Yep.
It's quite interesting.
People were saying that it's a little like...
Robo.
maybe my gain is too high on the microphone. But no, it's just my voice. It's loud. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, like, my microphone settings don't change from night to night, but every single night people are like, "Oh, it's too soft, it's too loud." I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't feel like it's too loud. I just think it's your voice is so deep,
Mm-hmm.
but like unexpectedly, that it's kind of a little bit throwing. It throws you a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, dog.
Do you know? Have you ever listened to anything from the Headspace Gallery?
In the past, yeah, several years ago.
You know what your voice sounds like?
What?
The Indigo Gallery voice.
Oh, I have no idea what that is.
Well, if no one else has anything to say, and no one will, you know, I don't want to interrupt anyone else. But if you ever get the chance to listen to Headspace and explore the sleep section of it, there's a section called the Indigo Gallery, which is the section which explores this idea that there is this imaginary place where you can, it's like a sleep oriented thing, but it's like this art gallery, but well, I don't know. Maybe not a lot of people know what I'm talking about, but if you ever get a chance to check out it, it's actually a paid subscription, so it's kind of redundant. But you know, if you ever get a chance and you have a second, check out the
Thanks for the suggestion, man. Yeah. Indigo Gallery.
Indigo Gallery.
That sounds interesting. Ooh.
You sound just like the exact same narrator.
What if I switch this on my microphone? What does this do? No idea what I just did, but maybe it'll help.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah?
It's like 100% better.
Oh, nice. Like magic. So, I'm gonna start to sign off now. That's me. My roommates here are having fun upstairs. I really care for all of you very much.
They're definitely doing their thing. So yeah.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank yourself.
I really appreciate your guidance.
Yeah, Pony Boy, I really appreciate you. I'm really glad that you came tonight. Just keep checking in with yourself. All of us here, just keep checking in with ourselves. Keep on practicing. see you sometime very soon. Feel free to reach out privately, ping me here on the server. There'll be another guided practice tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. EST. And thank you so much.
Gregors, I hate to infringe upon you, but are you going to leave right as of this second?
Yes. But if you have a quick question, I'm happy to stick around and answer it.
No, but just typically the guide of the session typically leaves, and then there is no leader. So who will we pass the...
That's alright, there doesn't need to be a leader. Everyone can have fun talking to themselves for whoever wants to stick around. That's totally okay. You can, if you want to pass around a leader, a talking stick,
Yeah,
feel free to.
We should definitely pass the guidance to someone else who is of the most experience.
Good night,
Who
everyone.
will stay talking?